You finish the risky text or the ambitious job application, your thumb hovers over the send button, and then you pull back. In that moment, your heart rate spikes and your chest tightens. It's an intense physiological flood of anxiety that feels entirely out of proportion to the situation. Why does the brain trigger a life or death panic response over a text message? A polite no from a stranger poses zero threat to your physical safety. This social anxiety represents a primitive survival alarm system misfiring in a world it wasn't built for. Thousands of years ago, human survival relied entirely on group cohesion. We evolved as an intensely social species because isolation meant a death sentence. In the ancestral environment, facing predators or finding adequate food on your own was physically impossible. The tribe provided your only access to food, shelter, and protection. Being ostracized by your group meant losing every resource keeping you alive. Over millennia, the human brain adapted to this reality. It wired the sting of social exclusion directly into our core survival alarms, treating any loss of status as a mortal threat. Today, the physical predators are gone, but that ancient Stone Age hardware remains fully active. Researchers at the University of Michigan demonstrated this by placing individuals who recently experienced a breakup into a functional MRI scanner. They compared the subject's brain activity while feeling physical pain against their activity while looking at a photo of the ex-partner who rejected them. The data revealed that intense social rejection activates the same brain regions as spilling hot coffee on your arm. Specifically, the scans recorded heavy activation in the secondary somatosensory cortex and the dorsal posterior insula, areas of the brain dedicated to processing literal bodily harm. We now have measurable neurological evidence that rejection hurts. Your nervous system processes a broken heart through the same channels as a physical injury. We carry this highly sensitive, pain-averse hardware into a digital world that quantifies our social standing in real time. Psychologists use the need-threat model to explain this. Because our brains continuously scan the environment for acceptance, any perceived social snub instantly triggers an internal threat response loop. When you receive fewer likes than your peers, your primitive brain interprets that data as a form of micro-ostracism. This perceived threat creates cognitive distortions. We begin to catastrophize, twisting a delayed text or a low view count into proof that we are unlikable and destined for exile. Modern technology has effectively weaponized our evolutionary need to belong, paralyzing us with a constant subconscious fear of digital rejection. The mismatch is clear. We are running ancient survival software in a modern world. In this context, a no to a request is simply a piece of data. We can manage this using cognitive reappraisal. This involves taking a step back from the immediate discomfort to actively challenge the brain's instinct to interpret a declined request as a fatal event. Since Act 2 showed that the brain processes social pain like physical injury, we can lower that sensitivity through controlled exposure. Seeking out 100 days of intentional, harmless rejections serves to manually recalibrate our survival alarms. Every time you survive one of these minor rejections, you prove to your primitive brain that you are still safe. You are building emotional calluses that diminish the physical sting of the word no. Adopting a growth mindset allows us to view rejection as a metric for adjustment, a data point that leaves our personal value untouched. You cannot erase your evolutionary programming, but you can override the false alarms. By leaning into the temporary sting of vulnerability, you free yourself to take the risks necessary to actually thrive.